So this is also known as Vishva Rupa Darshan or the cosmic form.
Yes.
Let's start with our prayers. Very, very important chapter. And the acronym of this chapter is Rupa. What is Rupa? We will see going forward. With I seek blessings of my Guru, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and let's start with the prayer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Where is the video? Ravi, can you hear me? Ravi sent me a message saying that he can't hear me.
But now it is audible. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Try new invite. Okay. Fine. This is fine now. Where we start the video? Okay. Let's start with a quick overview of what we studied in the last two classes. We did chapter 10, the opulence of the absolute. What is the acronym of this chapter? It is C. And what did we study? We saw S is the source of everything. Krishna is the source of everything. And Krishna tells Arjuna that if you just know this, that I am the source of everything, all your sinful reactions accumulated over millions of lifetimes will be destroyed. Why does Krishna say this? It's a very interesting thing. All of us, many of us, most of us, few of us can read Gita, can understand Gita, but we have our own interpretations. And we miss the essence of Gita. That is, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you don't get this understanding, then you are not understood Gita properly. And he says it's not only human beings, it is even devatas and rishis who do not are unable to understand who is Krishna. 1 second. Sneha, can you just dial Ravi Shankar and help him how to join?
Okay.
You can take my phone and call him.
Oh.
So he's not able to join. Sorry, my friend is not able to join. Sneha will help him. So now.
He has already joined. He has joined.
He joined. Okay, fantastic. Welcome, Ravi. Now, he is also the origin of all qualities and personalities.
Prabhuji, I am sorry to interrupt. Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
your video is breaking. You are not completely visible also, Prabhuji.
I'm not visible. Is it? 1 second.
Your video is breaking. It's.
Yeah, but presentation is okay.
Let me take this. Now is it better?
That's what I meant. Your video as well as the presentation, it was coming in lines were coming in between. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's better now. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And Krishna also tells Arjuna that I am the origin of all qualities. And what is the essence of this statement is that we try to use the intelligence which comes from Krishna to try and challenge the existence of Krishna. It's like trying to shine a torchlight on the sun. Who is going to lose the battle? It's the person with the torch. So this is the key issue with Gita. Try to understand and come to the right conclusion. Next is essence of Gita. What is the essence of Gita? It is covered in Chaturshloki Gita in the 10th chapter. And what is the essence of Chaturshloki Gita? I have shown this is there are 3 steps in any spiritual learning. And what are those? You have Sambandha, you have Avidheya, and you have Prayojana. What is Avidheya? Sambandha? Sambandha is relationship. Now I've shown you this gentleman who is in meditation. And this is the first step. I should desire to know about the Lord. It's like me joining a college for a science graduation degree. The joining of college is sambandha. I have established my relationship with the college. What is the abhideya? Abhideya is the process. I have to study for 3 years, complete the curriculum, and do well in the exams and pass as per the qualifying norms. Now that's the process. What is the process that Krishna has told us in Gita? He has told us 3 steps. He says either you follow karma yoga, or you follow jnana yoga, or you follow bhakti yoga. Any of these 3 paths will bring you to me. This is what Krishna says. And he says in Chaturshloki Gita that if you follow this, I don't know why this is not working. Okay. All of us have selfish desires. We are ignorant. And that is our status before we start reading Gita, before we understand Chaturshloki Gita. And what happens after we read Gita and understand Chaturshloki Gita? Krishna says, I will reciprocate the amount of what worship, what obeisances you pay me. I will reciprocate that, and I will become the lamp of knowledge within you. This is the lamp that I'm showing you. And what happens with this? Now you have done the sambandha, you have done the abhideya, now you get the prayojana. What is the prayojana? You will get relationship with Krishna. You will understand who is Krishna, what is our relationship with him. This is the essence of Gita. Then everywhere, Krishna tells Arjuna 82 vibhutis. He says, these are my opulences. You can find me anywhere, in any corner, any part of the world, if only you desire and wish to see me. This is the quick overview of what we studied in the last 2 classes. With this, we come to chapter 11, the most important chapter, because here we are now moving away from description, we are moving away from shlokas, understanding, to revelation. Krishna is revealing Vishva Rupa Darshan to Arjuna. And this is the most important thing, because no religious text anywhere in any religion comes close to show what is the inconceivable power, potency of the Lord. All of us define him as God. He's the generator, he's the operator, he's the destroyer. Yes, but what is that enough? That's only one part of the understanding. If you want to have the holistic understanding, you should know what is Vishva Rupa Darshana. And it spans the dimensions of space, which we will go through, which is called the Virata Rupa, and it also spans the dimension of time, which is called the Kala Rupa. Let's look at the acronym. It is called Rupa. Why? Request from Arjuna. The first 4 verses are concentrating on the request from Arjuna. He says, I want to see your universal form. Why does Arjuna want to see the universal form? He says, there are many people who say that, oh, well, I am also God. There are many God men, and there are many gullible people who get taken away by such promises. But Arjuna says, if there is anyone who wants to make a claim that he is equal to Krishna, then he must show us the universal form. And after you see the universal form, you'll realize that it is impossible to even imagine what it takes to show the Virata Rupa. Now, I also see my video has frozen. What could be the reason? Any idea? Is it because of bandwidth?
Maybe, yeah.
You can see my face talking. Now it is better, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Krishna says, Arjuna, you cannot see me with your normal pair of eyes. I need to give you divine pair of eyes. And he gives him the divine pair of eyes. We will see what is this divine pair of eyes going forward. The next part of Rupa is you. That is the universal form. Krishna shows the universal form. Third is prayers of Arjuna. This is the biggest section where we have different subheadings, where Sanjaya describes the universal form, then Arjuna describes the universal form. We'll go through that one by one. And the last part of the acronym A is armed form, which we will do in the next class. And this chapter is the 3rd biggest chapter in Gita with 55 verses. So we will have to do a little bit of quick and crisp going through each verse so that we are able to do justice and cover them in the 1 hour time we have. This we start. And then I also have to give you the link between the chapter 10 and chapter 11. In chapter 10, Krishna says, Ekam Shena Sthito Jagat. That is, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. Then Arjuna says, you are sitting in front of me. We are in the chariot. You are my charioteer. I am the person here. We are in between the army. We want to wage this war. How can you tell me that you are pervading this entire universe by a part of yourself? That's the reason why Arjuna says, I really want to see your universal form. Show it to me. That's how the chapter starts. Now, these are the descriptions of the verses. Let's quickly go through the verses. We will get the essence of them. Start with the first verse. So Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his universal form. Arjuna uvacha mat anugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma samjnitam yat tvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. My illusion is dispelled. What is the essence of this? The translation, Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions, you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has been dispelled. So, mat anugrahaya, he says, you have kindly given me, you have been merciful to tell me about the most confidential subjects, guhyam adhyatma samnitam, and I have understood them. And my illusion has now been dispelled. Mohoyam vigato mama. This is the first verse. Second verse. Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam shrutau vistaraso maya tvataha kamalapatraksha mahatmyam api javyam. What is this? I have heard from you. This is another interesting verse where Arjuna says, O lotus-eyed one, Kamalapatraksha, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living being and have realized your inexhaustible glories. What does it mean? Bhava means appearance. Apyavu means disappearance. He says, you have told me that this entire material manifestation appears and disappears. Shrutau vistaraso maya. And you explained this to me in detail. Tvatta kamala patraksha. O lotus-eyed one. And he is now calling Krishna by a new name. Kamala patraksha. That is, Krishna, you have eyes which are like lotus flower, large, soft, beautiful, and endowed with attributes of sweetness and gentleness. That is Krishna for us. Let's move to the next verse. Evam etad yathathatvam atmanam parameshwara drastum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. So Krishna Arjuna says, I desire to see your universal form. Evam etad yathathatvam. I do not have any doubt about your glory, about your supreme, you being the supreme Lord. Atmanam Parameshwara, you are the supreme. Even though I see you in front of me as my charioteer, you have already described about yourself what your glory is. Drastum ichchami te rupam. Now, drastum means to see. I want to see that universal form of yours. Aishwaram Purushottama. He is calling Krishna as Purushottama. Amongst men, you are the most, you are the supreme. There is none equal to you, none better than you. I want to see that divine form. We go to the fourth verse. Even interesting. Here he says, Manyase yadi chat shakyam maya drushtam iti prabhu yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. What is Krishna saying here? If you think I am able to, Arjuna says, if you think I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. This is pretty easy. We will not go into, he is telling Krishna that you are Yogeshwara and you are Avyayam. What is the meaning of Avyayam? Avyayam is unlimited. all of us in this world who are born, any species, we are Vyaya. We have a shelf life. We have birth, we have death. And Lord is the only Avyaya person in this world. He has no birth, he has no death, because he is the source of every part of this creation. Only Krishna is the source. Rest all of us are resource. This is the key takeaway that we should have in mind after listening to this chapter. We now move from the first lesson to the second lesson, where Krishna is showing the universal form. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Satoshosta Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varnakriti Nicha. What is Krishna saying here? Now you see my opulences. You wanted to see? I am showing it to you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Prutha, Partha is son of Prutha. See now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. What is Krishna telling? Satasho sahasrasaha. Shatasho is hundreds, Sahasrasha is thousands. He says, you are now going to see my universal form, which is multicolored. This is an opulence which you have never seen, will never see, even you can never imagine. Nana Varna Kriti Nicha. Let's go further. He says, 6th verse. Pasyadityan Vasun Rudran Ashvinau Marutastata Bahune Adrushta Purvani Pashya Ascharyani Bharata. So, what is the translation? Behold my many wonderful things. He says, Pashya Adityan Vasun Rudran. See the 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 2 Ashwinis, 49 Marutas. Bahuni Adrushta Purvani. Who are Marutas? They are demigods of the wind. Tata also. Bahuni Adrushta Purvani. It is that not many have been able to see this form. So this is something which is unique to you. Pashya Ascharyani Bharata. It is amazing what I'm going to show you now. And this form has many, many wonderful things. As we go ahead, you will be surprised. This is unlike which we have ever seen, which we can ever imagine. We go to the verse 7. Ihaikastam Jagat Krishnam Pashadyasa Characharam Mama Dehe Gudakesha Yachanya Drashtum Ichhasi. He says, O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Understand this. So the universal form is not just about being unique. It has, I said, 2 dimensions. Virata Rupa, which is across the dimension of space, and Kala Rupa, which is across the dimension of time. And when you look at time, he's saying you can even see the future in me. Everything moving and non-moving is completely in one place. What is the uniqueness of this? Just imagine if you are a scientist, or there is a scientist, he has the best of equipment. Even he cannot put the whole world together in one place. Impossible. But Krishna is saying, Ihaikastam Jagat Krishnam. I will show you the entire universe in my single body. That is the greatness of Krishna. Pashadyasa Characharam. You will see every moving and non-moving thing that exists in this universe in my body. Mama Dehe Gudakesha. In my body, O Gudakesha. Who is Gudakesha? Arjuna is the one who has overcome sleep. He is overcome the mode of ignorance, tamoguna. That is the Yachanya Drashtum Ichhasi. You wanted to see this, I can show you, and you make up your mind. What do you want to see? The past, the present, and the future. All are in me. And I will show you that now. 8th verse. Natumam sakyase drashtum anenaiva sva chakshusaha divyam dadami te chakshuhu Pashyame yogam aishwaram. He continues. Now, this is the verse where he says, but you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Divyam dadhami te chakshu. What is Krishna saying when he says, I will give you divine eyes? He says, your existing eyes are meant to see material things. You cannot see spiritual. Now, how do we understand this? You just like look at, if you go to a 3D movie, what do? We wear a 3D glass. One example of understanding what this Divya Chakshu is. It's not that he's giving in another two pairs of eyes which Arjuna is going to fix on his existing eyes. No, it is an you can say a tool which will enable him to see the Vishva Rupa. Or the second example is, if you are in an office, you have many sections which are open for all. You don't need any extra permission. But there are certain SharePoint folders, sites where you have to take special request and that access will be granted. So this is something like that. Arjuna is only capable of seeing what we all of us see. But now Krishna is showing him something unique. So he says, I will enable that vision in your eyes so that you can see me. Let's move to now we are coming to the third section, where the prayers of Arjuna starts. Here, there are many subsections. We will see them one by one. This is the verse where he starts describing the universal form. Sanjaya uvacha evam muktva tato rajan mahayogeshwaro harihi darshayamasa partaya paramam rupam aishwaram. Even in 9.5, Krishna had said paramam rupam aishwaram. Krishna displays the universal form. Now, instead of me describing this verse, so we move to I will not read the translation because Sanjaya, now, why is Sanjaya describing this universal form when Arjuna is seeing and Krishna is showing? Basically because these both people are on the battlefield. They are involved. They are engaged. Now, someone has to describe it. So Sanjaya does this. Now, the next question will be, who has given Sanjaya the divine eyes? It is Vedvyas. So Vedvyas has blessed Sanjaya because he has to describe this to Dhritarashtra, who doesn't have a pair of eyes. So this is how Sanjaya starts the description of the universal form. Let's move forward. Aneka Vaktranayanam, Anekadbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divyabharanam, Divya Aneko Dhyaythayudam. Arjuna saw in that form. Now, Sanjaya is describing all that Arjuna is seeing in that form. Divya Malyambaradharam, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvascharya Mayam Devam, Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So, what is that? In this verse, in these two verses, you can see Aneka, 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 Aneka. What does this mean? Arjuna is really unable to believe that in one place he can see so many things all at once. That's the reason why he's saying Aneka, Aneka, Aneka. This is the inconceivable potency of Krishna. What is the, let's put the translation here, but we'll go line by line. That makes it easier. Aneka Vaktra Nayanam. Vaktra means mouth, Nayana means eyes. So he is seeing many mouths, many eyes. Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. It's a wonderful, flabbergasting sight. You can never imagine what it looks like. Aneka Divyabharanam. He is wearing divine ornaments. Divyaneko Dhyayata Yudam. He has so many divine weapons. Divya Malyambaradharam. He is wearing divine garlands and garments. Divya Gandhanulepanam. He is anointed with divine perfume, fragrance, sandal paste. Sarvascharya Mayam Devam. He is full of wonders. Magnificent sight. Amazing. Ananto Vishwato Mukham. Ananto means he is unlimited, boundless. He is not bound by time and space. Vishwato Mukham. And he is pervading with his Vishwarupa everywhere. This is the cosmic form of the Lord. This is what Arjuna wanted to see. This is a form which doesn't exist in the spiritual world. Arjuna asked and Krishna created. So that is the power of Krishna. It's not that there is a Vishva Rupa Darshan form living somewhere and Krishna had to just pull it out here and show it. No, It's not that I take this screen out and I put the screen out. He created this on the spot, on the battlefield. That is the power of Krishna. Let's go further. Now Sanjaya describes what else he's seeing in that universal form. 11.12, he says, दिवि सूर्य सहस्रस्य भवेद् युगापद उत्थिता यदि भासदस्त्रिसा स्यात् भाषस्तस्य महात्मनः. The effulgence of the universal form. Now he's describing what is the effulgence on the battlefield. Divi is in the sky. Surya Sahasrasya, thousands of suns. Bhaved Yugapaduttita, all the 1,000 suns, if they rise at the same time and blaze in the sky, what happens? Yadi Bhasadasrisa Syad. Maybe that brilliance is still equal to or less than Bhashastasya Mahatmanaha, the effulgence that is coming from your Vishva Rupa Darshan, which is also called Virata Darshan, Virata Rupa. We go further. Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam Pravibhaktam Anekada Apashyad Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavastada. Everything in the universe is seen at one place. This is repeated twice in this part. Let us go through first one. Ihaikastam, that is at this one place. Jagat Krishna. It is not just this universe. He says the whole millions of universes you can see in my body. Pravibhaktam Anekada. And what is, we should keep reminding ourselves, Krishna is still sitting in front of Arjuna. It is not that Krishna has moved away. He's not disappeared. But whatever is happening on the battlefield, in the body of Krishna, in front of Arjuna. And only Arjuna and Sanjaya can see that. That is the beauty of Vishva Rupa Darshan. Pravibhaktam Anekada Apashyat Deva Devasya Sarire Pandavastada. Arjuna saw in the Lord's body unlimited expansions of universe. There were demigods. We saw Brahma, Shiva, the whole 33 crore Devi Devatas were seen in his body, along with, and they were divided into many, many thousands. That is the description of Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Let's go forward. Now, we must realize that this whole chapter is going to be description of this form. It is something which we can only understand by reading, understand by listening. It is difficult to imagine. That's what makes this chapter in Gita so interesting. We are on 11.14 now. Tata Savishvaya Visto Hrusta Roma Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirsas Devam Krithanjalir Abhasata. Arjuna bowed down. Then bewildered. One second. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances with folded hands and began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Here, there are two reactions. Tatasa Vitsmaya Visto, he is amazed. This is an emotional reaction because he can't imagine that Krishna, who was just like you and me, in front of me, has grown so massive. So he's emotionally shocked, emotionally astonished. Second reaction is Hrusta Roma Dhananjaya. His hairs are standing on end. So he was physically thrilled. It is something which you just cannot believe that this is happening in front of you. Pranamya Shirsa Devam, Krithanjali Rabhashata. He joined his hands and prayed to the Lord. Krithanjali Rabhashata. This is the reaction that came in Arjuna after seeing this glorious form of the Lord. We move to the second subsection of this. Now, here, Arjuna takes over from Sanjaya. So Arjuna is going to describe how is the vision of the universe. Arjuna Uvacha Pashyami Devam Stava Deva Dehe Sarvam Statabhuta Vishesha Sangan Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam Rishim Sarvam Urgam Shativyan. So what is Krishna saying here? Dear Lord, I see in your body top to bottom vision. So he is spanning the dimension of space. what is, if you go to I'll not read the translation because of time constraint. I'll just explain the essence in few verses. So what he's saying here is that I can see the Brahma, I can see Isha, Shiva, they are all in the higher planets. So that's Brahmaloka, Shivaloka, Kailasa. Then he says, I can see Rishis, they are in the Tapaloka, that is the middle planet. Urgamsha Divya, Urgams is snake. He's saying Ananta, Ananta Shesha, Vasuki, all the great snakes who are devotees of the Lord are also seen in the same one view, top to bottom. So that is Patala Loka. So this is the Virat Rupa, which is extending from the top to the bottom. Just imagine how huge it should be. Then he's in the next verse, he describes Aneka Bahudara Uttara Netram Pashyami Tvam Sarvato Anantarupam Na Antam Na Madhyam Na Punastavadim Pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa. So here, let's read the translation. He says, O Lord of the universe, Vishveshwara, O universal form, Vishwarupa, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Aneka Bahudara Vaktara Netram. I cannot count the number of arms. Udara is belly, Vaktara is mouth, Netram is eyes. Pashyami Tvam Swarvato Anantarupam. I am seeing your unlimited forms. And the beauty is, I cannot see your beginning, I cannot see your middle, and I cannot see your end. Na antam na madhyam na punastavadim. Pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa. He's saying, you are Vishveshwara. You have told me you are the controller of the universe, and now you are showing me your Vishwarupa. This is your universal form. This is your Virata Rupa. Now he gets into more graphic description. 11.17. He says, Kiritanam Gadinam Chakrinam Cha Tejo Rashim Sarvato Deeptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durnirikshayam Samantad Deeptanalarkadutim Aprameyam. It is difficult to see this glowing form. Now Arjuna is coming from what he's saying inside. He's trying to say that the heat coming from this universal form is unbelievable. And he's also describing each of the things that the Lord is wearing in his universal form. He says, Kiritinam. Kirita is a crown which you wear on the head. So the Lord is wearing Kirita. That is why he's called Kiritinam. Gadinam, he's using Gada, mace. Chakrinam, he has the Sudarshan Chakra in his hand. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Deeptimantam, mass of brilliance, radiance glowing all around. Pashyami Tvam Durnirikshayam Samantat. Nirikshayam is I can see, Durnirikshayam is I cannot see. He says your effulgence is so radiant, I can't see this. Deeptanalka Dyutim Apramayam. What is Dyuti? Dyuti is radiance. What is Deepta Anala? It's a blazing fire. He's trying to give a description of the glowing and the effulgence that he's seeing in the form. Arka is sun. So he is describing the radiance in terms of fire, comparing it to fire and the radiance of the sun. And he says it is apramayam, beyond limitation. Tvam aksharam paramam veditavyam, tvam asya vishvasya param nidhanam, tvam avyaya sashashvata dharma gopta, sanatana swam purusho mato me. Now he says, I am convinced of your supremacy. He is describing here. Tvam Aksharam, you are the supreme primal objective. You are the source. Everything emanates from you. It says, Tvam Ashva Vishvasya Param Nidhanam. You are the ultimate resting place of all the universes. Krishna had told him in 9.5 also, the whole world exists in me, but I don't exist in them. And he has shown that to Krishna, to Arjuna now. So he is the ultimate resting place of all universes. Tvam avyaya shashvata dharma gupta. He is avyaya. We already described earlier also. Vyaya is something which has a limit. Avyaya is limitless. So he is inexhaustible. He is the oldest. Then he says, shashvata dharma gupta. I am the maintainer of it. eternal religion, Sanatana Dharma. Whenever there is a problem with Dharma, I am here to take care. Is there anything else? Sanatana Stvam Purusho Mato Me means I am the Mato Me is my opinion. So he says, this is what I understand from your Vishva Rupa Darshan, oh my Lord. We have finished the description from Arjuna. Now we come to the third part of the prayers of Arjuna, where he is describing the effect on universe. So now what happens, Krishna on Arjuna? Of course, Krishna is as he is. Arjuna's understanding is shifting gears. So from seeing the Virat Rupa form, which is about, it is spread across the dimension of space, he is now seeing the time factor of Krishna. Krishna in the same Vishva Rupa Darshana has Virata form and Kala Rupa form. And let's see what's the difference between the two. Kala Rupa tells you about the destruction of this world. Time stands for destruction. What we are born, we have to die. Time doesn't stop for anyone. No kingdom, no king has ever lasted forever. He comes and he goes. That is the essence of Kala Rupa. Virata Rupa, Arjuna could see. What happens to him when he sees the Kala Rupa, we will see here. Anadimatyantam anantaviryam anantabahum shashashurya netram pashyami tvam deeptahutasya vaktram swatejasa vishwam idam tapantam. Unlimited opulences, blazing fire coming forth, wonder turning to fear. So now the scene is shifting from amazement to awestruck, terrorized. That is what's so. Now we have seen the Kala Rupa. So what's the difference between the two? This is you start getting afraid because you are seeing the description going forward is really very, very hard. He can see the entire Kaurava army being ground to pieces, burned to death in this Virata form, in this Kala form. Let's look at this verse. Dhyava prithviyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvaikena dishascha sarvaha društvad rupam ugram tavedam lokatrayam pravya atitam mahatman. So even Sanjaya had described Krishna as Mahatman, and here again Arjuna is also describing as Mahatma. He is something which we cannot imagine beyond. You are spread throughout the planetary system. Now here, Dhyava Prithviyor. Dhyava is the Swargam, the sky. Prithvi is the earth. Idam antaram hi, space in between. So he is vertically spread from the top to the bottom. Vyaptam tvaikena dishasta sarvaha. You pervade all direction, in the sky above, the earth below, and all in between. Tvaya ekena, and by you alone. You don't have anyone to help you. Društva adbhutam rupam ukram tavedam. I have seen your wonderful form, but this is frightening. Lokatrayam prayatitam mahatma. All the three worlds are getting afraid by this form of yours and the heat that your body is generating. Amihi tvam surasanga vishanti kechit bhita pranjalayo grananti swastiti uktva maharshi siddha sangaha stuvanti tvam stutibi pushkalabihi. What is Krishna saying here now? Arjuna is describing, you are inspiring fear. Demigods are praying, sages are praying, saying, what is going to happen to us? Amihi tvam surasanga vishanti. Ami is he, Ami he, those very, Surasangaha, all the demigods are entering in your mouth, are there in your mouth. Kechit, some of them, Pitaha, are afraid, they are unable to flee. Pranjalayo grananti, they are praying to you with their folded hands. Swastiti uktva maharshi siddha sangaha. Swasti means all peace. Uktva maharshi siddha sangaha. Along with the demigods, I see a lot of great sages, perfect beings. They have understood that this Kala Rupa is Bhayanak. Bhayankar. So they have a foreboding of evil as the battle becomes imminent. The destruction is going to be on a scale which is unheard of. So what they do, they start praying to you. Stuvanti tvam stutibi pushkalabihi. They want to pray to you, oh Lord, we know you are supreme, but this is the form which we are not really happy to see you with. But destruction is part of creation. So Krishna says, you want to see the universal form? You saw my creative form, and now you have to see my destructive form. Many a times in this verse, in these verses, there is a description, a repetition. Now that is because when you're amazed, you start telling the same things that you're seeing, whatever comes in front of you. We have seen this earlier also. रुद्रादित्य वसो ये च साध्या विश्वे अश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपश्चा गंधर्व यक्षासुर सिद्ध संघा वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे. So Arjuna is saying, all are looking at you in astonishment, and I can see in you the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, Adityas, Vasus, Sadhyas, Vishwadevas, Ashwinis, Marutas, Gandharvas, our forefathers, Pitris, Yakshas, Asuras, and the perfected demigods are all there in you. That is the so this is kind of a repetition from what we saw. And I have underlined Choshma Pascha. Yes, we have seen this. All the demigods and the rishis are within the Lord. Now, Choshma Pascha describes a particular kind of forefathers. They are our ancestors. And why they are called Choshmapa is Ushcha, Ushmapa. Ushmapa means our forefathers. And they have a particular way of having food. They may not be in, they are not in this world. Of course, they are in the Pitruloka. But when we invoke them, when we do our shraddha, when we offer them prasad, they imbibe the hot vapor, aroma of the food, which is Vedically offered and eaten. So Krishna has specifically said Choshma Pascha. That is, all the rituals that we do, many of us have very little faith in them. But the scriptures very clearly say what we offer here, it is reaching our Pitrulokas in the our Pitrus in the Pitruloka. This is what I thought I must highlight here. Let's go to the next verse. Rupam Mahatya Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurupada Padam Bahu Udaram Bahudamstra Karalam Drushtva Pravya Atitas Tataham. All planets and demigods are agitated. So he says, Rupam Mahatya Bahuvaktra Netram. Again, this is a kind of repetition. Your form is huge and it has many mouths and eyes. Mahabahu. Oh Lord, Mahabahu. Mahabahu, Bahu Bahuru Padam. That is, I can see many thighs, I can see many abdomen, I can see many feet. So this is again kind of repetition what we saw. Aneka, Aneka, Aneka. Bahu Udaram, Bahu Damstra Karalam. Along with that, I also see your mouth with horrifying teeth. Pravyatitas Tataham. People are frightened, and Pravyatitas is, I am also frightened. So what does he see? Many mouths, many eyes. Bahudaram, many stomachs. Bahupadam, many thighs and many feet. Bahuru Damstra Karalam, horrible protruding teeth. Pravyatitas, frightening. Tataham. I am also frightened. We go to the next verse. Nabhasprisham deeptam aneka varnam vyattananam deepta vishala netram drishtva hi tvam pravyatitantaratma dhritim na vindami samam cha Vishnu. We see deeptam is mentioned here twice. Deeptam is blazing. So Arjuna says, I am afraid. Oh, all pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors, touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. He had repeated this in the earlier verse also. He had said that, where did the Navas Prasham? See, he says, Aprithviyoridam in 11.20. Now again he's saying Navasprusham Deeptam Aneka Varnam. Nava is supreme heaven, Paramavyoma. So what is the understanding of this? Is that the space is so huge and this form is straddling the top to the bottom. And he is having Deepta Vishala Netram, wide eyes, gaping mouth, blazing fire is coming out of his mouth. Drishtvahi tvam pratyatintaratma. My mind is perturbed by fear. I have Trutimna Vindami Samam Cha Vishnu. I have lost my courage. I have lost my equilibrium of mind. And he is now calling him Vishnu. So you can see Vishnu rests in Krishna. And if you were to take a comparison, how terrifying this form looked like, there's only one example in the scriptures, and that was when Lord came as Narsimha. It is said, even Lakshmi had said at that time, I have never seen any form of the Lord where he was so angry. So after Narsimha, if there was any comparison, this was the Kala Rupa of the Lord. That was his terrifying form. Damstra karalani chate mukhani, drustvaiva kalanala sannibhani, disho na jane na labecha sharma, prasida devesha jagannivasa. Now, Arjuna is saying, oh Lord, I have seen enough of your Kala Rupa. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me, Prasida. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. He's calling him Devesha, Lord of the Lords, Jagannivasa, refuge of the world. Drustvaiva kalanala sannibhani. The fire that is coming from your mouth looks like the Antakala fire. It is so radiant, so hot. It looks as though this universe is now coming to an end. I can't see this. I want you to be merciful to me. He's saying that, please withdraw this bhayanak form of yours. We come to the next, last session where we look at the vision of the battlefield. Now, he has shown the Kala Rupa. He is able to see the future. Now, what is that future? That is what we are going to see. Amicha tvam dhritarashtrasya putraha sarve sahaiva vani falasangahi bhishma drona sutaputra satasu sahasmadiyayar apiyoda mukyahi Vaktrani te turamana vishanti damstra karalani bhayanakani kechit vilagna dasanantareshu sandrashyante churnite uttamangahi. This is trying to give you the future as it is going to happen. Here, Ami, you are entering the mouth. Who is entering the mouth? Tvam Dhritarashtrasya putraha. All the sons of Dhritarashtra. He had 100 sons. I can see each one of them entering in your mouth. Sarve sahaiva vanifala sangahi. Along with them, all the kings, all the emperors who have come to support Duryodhana, they are also going away into your mouth. Bhishma Drona Sutaputra Satasu. That is, I can see Bhishma going inside, Drona going inside. I can see Sutaputra. Who is Sutaputra? Karna, who is the son of a charioteer. That is why it's called Sutaputra. Sahasmadiyaya Rapiyuda Mukyahi. All the other warriors who are wearing tremendous protective gear, they are also entering your mouth and getting crushed to death. Sandrashyante Churnite Uttamangi. Dasanantareshu means you are chewing them. And Uttamangai, they are crushed. This is what Arjuna can see happening to all his opponents on the battlefield, even before the battle has started. Krishna had told Arjuna, you can see the past, you can see the present, and you can see the future in me. Wonderful words. And now Krishna gives an analogy to Arjuna, how he destroys the world, who gets what, depending on your karma. 11.28. Yatha nadinam bahav ambu vegaha samudram eva bimuka dravanti tatha tavami naraloka veera vishanti vaktrani abhivijvalanti. What is he saying? As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. So here, there is a lovely analogy. First, let's understand line by line. Yatha nadinam bahavo ambuvegaha. Nadinam means flowing rivers. Bahava means numerous. Ambuvegaha, they are flowing with fast currents, the swift currents. And they are going towards Samudram Evabhikum Adravanti. All are flowing where? They are flowing towards only one direction. That is, enter the ocean. Tatha means also. In the same way, Tavami Naraloka Veera, all these great warriors, irrespective of whether you are a commander, you are a supreme commander, you are a soldier, it doesn't matter. All of them wearing all kinds of protective armor, they're all entering your mouth. Vishanti means enter, Vakthani, Abhivijvalanti, and they're entering the mouth which is blazing. Now, what is the learning here? The learning that Arjuna is getting from Krishna is, what is a river? River is nature. And what is the nature of this river? Flow towards the ocean. They never deviate. It is fixed. You can never have a river flowing away from the ocean. River has to flow towards the ocean. That is the amount of certainty in this creation. Rivers benefits everyone. It is the lifeline of a country, of a state. So the river metaphor is used for Bhishma and Drona. Why? Bhishma and Drona, they were pious people, but they did impious act. But why did they do it? Because they were bound by Rajadharma. They were serving in the assembly of Dhritarashtra. They had no choice. That's why they had to support him. And because they supported Adharma, they died. So this is the analogy that we can understand. You can compare a devotee who has started learning Gita. This is first step, is like a river. We only can bring good to the world, and we will never create mayhem in the world. We go to the next verse. Another wonderful verse. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samrutta vegaha tataiva nashaya vishanti loka tavapi vaktrani samrutta vegaha. Here, I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. So there we saw a river, and here the analogy is a moth. This is a patanga, is that kind of moth which is attracted by fire. It doesn't know that if it gets into the fire, it dies. So that is the example that Krishna is giving. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga. So patanga is a moth, it's a flying insect. It is seeing the fire which is glowing. Jwalanam is the fire, but it enters it voluntarily. Vishanti nashaya samruddha vega, and it is rushing into it with great speed. Tathaiva nashaya vishanti loka. In the same way, all the people who are born in this world, who are moving, non-moving, they are also rushing fast. Tavapi vaktrani samruddha vega. Samruddha Vega there, Samruddha Vega here. They are rushing towards their death, even though knowing that it is fire. Now, river is natural. Moth entering the fire is voluntary. Nobody forced Duryodhana to wage this war. That is the understanding. He chose by himself that I am going to fight this war, and the war is like fire to Duryodhana and millions of Kauravas. They all entered this voluntarily and they were killed mercilessly. This is what happens if you take the side of adharma. So we have two analogies. One is river, which is natural, and which is moth, which is patanga, which is attracted to fire voluntarily. So we should decide where we want to be, how we want to be. The verse 30th. Leliya se grasamana samantal loka samagran vadanair jvalabdihi tejobir apurya jagat samagram bhashastavu graha pratapanti Vishnu. He's again seeing Vishnu in Krishna. I see you devouring these people from all sides. Leliyase is you are getting these people into your mouth and you seem to be enjoying it. You're licking your own lips. You're not showing any, oh, should I? When I am in the form of Kala, I kill mercilessly. I see you devouring people from all sides. Grasamana. They are being killed from all sides. That is how destruction is. He says, Teju Virapurya Jagat Samagram. I see this destruction happening in your own mouth. Bhashastabhugra Pratapanti Vishnu. And the destruction is also because of not only your chewing, cutting, it's also because of your heat. We are all tormented by this sight, O Vishnu. Vishnu means to surround. Vivesti iti Vishnu. He's now again seeing Vishnu in Krishna. After this, he says, I want to see your original form. And he also has a fundamental question. After seeing this destruction, he says, Oh Krishna, who are you? Are you the wonderful two-handed form Krishna who is sitting in front of me? Or you are this terrifying Virat Rupa and Kala Rupa? And this is not a question only for Arjuna. This is for the entire mankind. Whoever reads Gita will say that, oh my God, there are many people who say, how can there be so much of violence in this world? Why is God not doing anything? Where is God? Arjuna is also asking the same question. He says, oh Krishna, tell me, Akya hi me ko bhavan ugra rupo, namostutu deva varaprasida, vignatum ichhami bhavantam madhyam, nahi prajanami tava pravrittem. Who are you and what is your vision? These are the two questions. He says, please tell me, I can't understand you because I saw you as a smiling, you are lotus-eyed. You are so Komala. But at the same time, you also represent destruction. So Krishna tells them in the next part of how do you see him? The essence of learning here is, if there is creation, there has to be destruction. If Krishna can create, then he has to maintain. And if he has to maintain, he has to destroy. All exist within him. He is the source and we are all resources. We come to the end of this first part. Quick recap. This acronym is Rupa. We see the request from Arjuna. Krishna says, I will show you my universal form. I'll give you a pair of divine eyes, Divya Chakshu. The second part of this acronym, Rupa. Krishna shows the universal form. The third part is prayers of Arjuna. We show various subsections under that. And the armed form we will see in the next class. Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of the session and the floor is now open to any questions.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is not a question. It's just an observation as to why Bhagavan would show his Saumya Rupa first and then show his Kala Rupa. I mean, there might be a reason behind it as to why, because normally, I don't know. This is, like I said, it's just an observation. We say, I have good news and bad news, and what do you want to hear first? So the bad news comes first and then the good news. So why would Bhagwan have shown, why would he have shown the Kala Rupa after he showed his Saumya Rupa?
See, it was Arjuna's desire. He said, I want to see your universal form.
Correct.
So, and Krishna had shown the same universal form to his mother Yashoda when he was a small kid. When he had eaten mud and mother said, you open your mouth, she was shocked. She saw the whole universe in his mouth. And at that time, he did not show the Kala Rupa.
Correct, yes.
So here, since Arjuna was so curious, and Arjuna is a great devotee of the Lord, if we can even have 1/1,000,000th of what Arjuna had as love and respect for the Lord, we all will never have to come back again in this world. So when Arjuna is asking, Krishna says, I will show you my entire Rupa. And my Swarupa starts with creation, goes towards maintenance, and it ends in destruction.
Okay. In that order.
That's why he had to show the Kala Rupa.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I see Srini. Hi Srini, how are you? Thank you for joining.
Hi. Good. I'm sorry I could join only in the middle, but yeah, it was a good
Okay,
session.
okay.
First session.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
If you have any questions now or even later, do feel free to ping me.
Yeah. Will do.
Suresh, Ravi, Ramesh.
I didn't know, Shyam, you have got Srini also. Hi, Srini, Ravi here, Ravi Shankar.
Hi, Ravi. How are you?
Very good. Nice to have you on this call.
Yes. When I saw the list of people, just now, I saw your name. So, how are you?
Very good. We are getting to meet thanks to Shyam and thanks to the Lord.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Shyam, as I have put it on the chat box, thank you very much for sharing the Virat Swarup and also trying Chetna's clarification as to why both the routes, all of us obviously want to see the better part of Lord Krishna, and we don't want to see the more, let's say, terrific view of the Lord. So therefore, thanks for taking us through this session. Very interesting and very appropriate also, because we need both sides of it.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you.
For some reason, I couldn't join in early because the audio, the video was
Audio problem was too much.
Yes. So,
Did it
The
improve
buffering.
later?
Still, maybe network problem may be there.
Even
Where you
now,
are telling
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking in. It's coming in
I see.
bits.
Okay.
So is your video.
See,
is
the
my
broadband
voice
was
clearly?
Your face video is not moving.
coming at all.
Oh.
Some problem with the broadband, I think.
Maybe. Sunday,
Ah.
this is half day for them.
No, Shyam is Thane. This is Thane problem.
Looks like Ravi.
Yeah.
Nandita, Ramesh, you have any questions? Suresh? If there are no questions, then I will close the session and all of you enjoy a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank you very much for joining again.
Thank you, Shyam. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shyam.
Thank you, Srini.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. I'll close the session.